So how's it feel to finally meet your relatives? What is going on, guys? It's Pat and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And today it's going to be a mod showcase on the Magical Talisman mod. And what this mod does is it adds in a ton of cool items that give you special abilities. And actually there's a couple bosses as well. But if you're wondering, how do you get these items? It's pretty unique. You get them in chests like blacksmiths, dungeons, strongholds, and stuff like that. Like this right here, the Ox Talisman has no crafting recipe at all. So honestly, it gives you another reason to go exploring through your world. So grab this. This one gives you strength and resistance. Plus it kind of causes an explosion. You can see I may have had too much fun with this mod already. Alright, so put it in your hand. And you're going to notice you get a buff. Strength 2 and resistance 2. And if you right click, it like breaks the ground. And if you're wondering, it does not like injure anything. So pig is fine. You can kind of trap an animal that way though if you really wanted to. I don't know, it's pretty unique the way it works. And you cannot craft any of this stuff. Only the weapons in the mod really. And I think the stuff for the bosses as well. Alright, so next up is the Tiger Talisman. And this one can actually be like recrafted. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. So the Tiger one summons in a clone. So you right click, and now we've got a clone. But sadly, it doesn't look like you. It's kind of like a version of Steve instead. So we should test this out. Let's spawn a zombie, see if he goes after it. There we go. So yeah, he's going to help you out and try to fight for you. He doesn't have a ton of health. And the real problem is, he doesn't look like you. I feel like he should, since he's called player clone. You know what I mean? It should be a copy of your character, maybe like dressed up like that or something. And yeah, I got this right here. It's part of like the yin-yang thing. And if you kill him, you'll get the other part and you could recraft it to actually get the Tiger Talisman back. So you can get these back if your clone dies, which is kind of cool. So both halves and a diamond will reconstruct it. All right, next up, the Rabbit Talisman. And this one makes you go so quick. It's amazing. Look at this. Be careful. There's like holes everywhere. So yeah, if you need to get around your world, this is definitely the one to do it. I don't even think rabbits can travel this fast. But yeah, be careful if there's like lava around and stuff like that. Probably want to be careful if you got this in your hand. All right, let's see what's next here. All right, this one is the Dragon Talisman. And you know with the dragon, it's got to be freaking cool. And of course it is. So if you right click, here we go. Shoots a fireball, makes like a little explosion. So cool. Actually, it doesn't break this block, surprisingly. I think it might only break like stuff that's not like man-made, which is kind of cool. And it works the same way with the other item I showed you guys before. The Ox one, you can't break like blocks like this, which is definitely a nice aspect of the mod, because if something really bad happens in your house and you got to kill something with one of these items, then you really don't have to worry about like breaking everything and hurting yourself. Next up, guys, we've got Invisibility. And this one is the Snake Talisman. So put it in your hand and then take a better look at yourself. I am not here. I am just armor. So kind of cool. You get an invisibility buff. And the next one is Regeneration. And I gotta say, the Horse Talisman, it's gotta be one of the best ones, because Regeneration is just so important. I mean, if you're fighting like a boss or something, Regeneration is gonna save your life. And it gives you Regeneration too. But keep in mind, when you're fighting, guys, like if this is in your hand, you get it. But if you're, you know, fighting with a sword, the regeneration buff is going to come off, so you kind of have to like switch back and forth, which does, I think it helps it from not being too overpowered, because if you automatically had this on forever, it'd be kind of ridiculous without at least having to switch to it. Oh, this one is really interesting, the Sheep Talisman. You can walk through walls, but if you put it in your hand, it gives you the wither effect, which is, it's really strange, so you can't like overuse it. So this wall right here, I'm like so nervous to do this. Walk through it. Yeah, then quickly take it out of your hand. I love how they set that up. Be pretty careful. I was messing around with it before in creative, and I'm not sure what happened, but I fell through the entire world and fell out of it. It was kind of funny, but would be less funny right now, and especially in a survival world. All right, so the next one, climb walls. And this one is the Monkey Talisman. So this one in my hand, I can easily like, you know, climb up structures slowly. Pretty cool. I think you still do take fall damage though. Let me check. So yeah, it doesn't negate fall damage, but you still can climb up like mountains and stuff like that, so it can be pretty helpful. And the next one, the Rooster Talisman, actually lets you fly. And if you combine it with the Rabbit one, you can fly at amazing speeds. So let me take this away for a second. and just grab the Rooster Talisman. And you can see when I hit spacebar, I am flying through the air. And if you move around, it's pretty slow. So what you're going to need is the Rabbit Talisman. So we'll come down right here and we'll grab that back out. All right, so with this one, you fly like a psychopath. It can be great for getting around your world. So we'll fly into the air. And now just in my inventory is enough to make me fly around at extreme speeds. This can be a great way to explore your world. You can get to a stronghold extremely quickly as well, where there's probably going to be more chests and more talismans too. All right, let's see. Let's calm down for a second. I'm like flying so quick, can't even control myself. All right, let me put these down. All right, so next up, Immortality. I know it sounds really overpowered, and I'm somewhat surprised it'd be a dog talisman that would make you so overpowered like this, but you'll see what I mean. So if I spawn in, let's go with some zombies. It doesn't matter if it's, if they're gonna burn. Probably better that way anyway. So I'll spawn a couple of these dudes. Of course, I got a little one. Have it in your hand. They actually can't hurt you. They can't. Nothing they can do. Take it out, though. Of course, they can actually hit you. The thing about it, guys, if you think about it, like, if it's in your hand, they can't hurt you, but you can't really fight either. I mean, you could hit them with it. It'll do, like, barely any damage. Of course, it's pretty overpowered, but killing a mob would be a real pain if you kept this in your hand the entire time anyway. Alright, so how are we going to get rid of this little dude? How should we do it? How should we kill him? I got some cool talismans around. I'm trying to, like, okay, dragon is a cool way to kill him. Alright, so, little guy, you're gonna die. Really bad. Alright. No way he's going to survive that. And that is my example of how the dragon talisman is freaking awesome. Alright, so I think we've got one left over here. And yeah, it shoots fire. This one, not like an explosion. It's a pig. Why does a pig shoot fire? I have no idea. But if you right click, it will shoot some fire. You can start a fire with this if you really want to. Forest fire. Can I get the pig with it? Try to get him. Oh! The grass is in the way. Excuse me, pig. I'm just testing this to see if I could light you on fire with it. You are a pig. You should be immune. It's his talisman. But yeah, you can light enemies on fire, and of course, grab their cooked meat. Kind of a cool thing you could do with it. And if we head over this way, we are now onto the wood golem. It's kind of like an iron golem, except you need to, like, power it. So for the recipe, you will need a pumpkin and, oak wood like that. It makes a wood golem toy, and you combine that with a mouse talisman, which is the only one I didn't show you guys because it doesn't actually do anything. It just powers this. And then you got a wood golem. So right click with him. And there we go. Cool looking dude too. I like the one eye like Cyclops thing going on. It's got 60 health. Somewhat powerful, but not as strong as an iron golem. He's got like an effect going on around his body as well. So yeah, I like the wood golem. Epic dude. Alright, next up, there are some weapons. We got shurikens, which is always cool. And the recipe for these is iron ingots, and it will yield you 3 of them. So we can throw these. I feel bad, like, trying on him. You know what, let's grab some spiders and hit them with the shurikens. Alright, so let's try this out. So 5 damage, pretty cool. And he just, like, went over there, beast mode, smacked him for the final hit. Alright, the other weapons. This one actually drops off one of the bosses. It does 7 attack damage. And it says it, like, dispels evil spirits because it's, like, so strong. And it also gives the user invisibility. And this one, the flute. The flute actually scares monsters away. So I'll show you guys what I mean. It's pretty interesting. Alright, so I probably should spawn in a couple zombies. And if you right-click with it, it doesn't actually have music. They probably are going to add that, I'd imagine. But if you spawn a couple dudes, right-click, it just pushes them back. It, like, teleports them away. Pretty interesting. I haven't actually seen anything that teleports mobs away from you before. So extremely useful, and it does drop off one of the bosses, which we are going to be heading to very soon. But there is one more weapon, the air ball. Guys, there is no recipe for this, so I imagine they added it, like, really recently. But if you throw it, it does do some damage to your enemies. So let me get a spider in here. Air ball. Let me try to aim it at him. There we go, 8 damage. So kind of cool. You can see it shoots like this giant ball through the air. And the wood golem is like beasting it right now. He's going over and killing everything. Alright guys, so we're on to the bosses. And I did want to mention they are both a work in progress. I've noticed if you do kill them, it does crash your game. I'm sure they're working on it. If you guys decide to download this mod, it's not really that big of a deal. Because if you relog, all the stuff they dropped is on the ground. So it shouldn't have too much of an effect. But I think we got one more mob. The Ninja Khan. This dude, he spawns at night. He's like extremely quick. Only has 20 health and he's Kind of freaky looking. Trying to get him with this. There we go. So yeah, he only has 20 health, so you can take him down pretty quickly. Alright, there we go. And he even dropped some shurikens as well. Alright guys, on to the bosses. The bosses, you must craft some kind of crazy recipe to spawn them, but it's definitely worth it. So for Shendu, you are going to need a cactus and a bunch of magical stones, and for those, it's stone around a diamond. And then you take that item, basically surround it with like tons of talismans, as I'm showing you guys right now. And then once again, take that item and the rest of the talismans, like this, and you can actually spawn in the boss. So grab that one. And for Siwoo, you're going to need the magical stone around a bone, and then take that. You need diamonds and note blocks. So this one, the recipe isn't too bad on. And these guys actually drop the really cool weapons, so it's definitely worth killing them. So what we're going to do is take the first dude right here, spawn him in the little arena. Pig might want to run away, like really, really far away. Alright, so I gave myself a special sword for this, like the sword he drops, plus I enchanted it with sharpness 10, because they have a ton of health, and it'd be really hard to kill them in the review without that. Alright, so first dude, right click, and just watch the stone, it's really cool. And there he is. That does not look like an easy boss, does it? Alright guys, you can tell this boss is extremely powerful. He shoots fireballs at you, and not only that, he can like teleport behind you. I definitely recommend like diamond gear when you fight this dude, because he's a freaking beast. So guys, what we're going to do is get him down a little bit lower in health, and I'll show you what other abilities he can do. So guys, I got him down lower in health to show you another one of his abilities. He actually spawns in 5 ninja cons to help him out. So really, the Spirit Dragon is a freaking beast. He shoots fireballs, teleports, spawns in other mobs. And as I mentioned before, when you kill him, it crashes for some reason. So what we're going to do is put it into peaceful, and I'll tell you exactly what he drops. So when you actually finish him off, he drops every single talisman, which is amazing because it, you know, costs those to make the thing for him anyway. And he also drops his sword, which I showed you before. It does 7 attack damage, and it makes you invisible. So really cool and definitely worth killing him. Just keep in mind your game might crash when you finish him off. And once again, right-click the ground, cool animation, and the boss will appear. This one isn't quite as difficult, and you can tell he drops that, like, musical item from before that knocks the enemies back, because he is completely covered in musical notes. And at the moment, he only has a couple abilities. He shoots, like, that air ball I showed you guys before, and sometimes he knocks you back as well. Really, other than that, not too much. Does yell at you, get lost. Says that, like, over and over again. And I kind of like how they added that stuff in. I feel like it adds more to the fight as well. And as I mentioned, guys, when you finish him off, he is going to drop this flute. He's not like the other guy. He doesn't drop, like, tons of items and talismans. This is the only thing he drops. But still, definitely worth it. I mean, when enemies are coming after you at night, and you can just right-click and push them back, that is so freaking cool. But yeah, guys, that is about all there is to show with this mod. Still a work in progress, but definitely heading somewhere, I think. A lot of cool items with special abilities and some bosses, which are a work in progress, but definitely looking pretty cool and might actually be able to be in mob battles eventually. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to slam that like button and to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for another Minecraft video.